Well, our next guest has quite an interesting background. She's helping women that are 40 plus navigate their lives and turn their stories into income. She's got a very diverse background, having had her own life rewritten and learning how to monetize it. She's now teaching other women how to do the same. Now, what's interesting is that she's able to hone in on the fact that as women, a lot of us have spent years and years of our lives serving and helping other people. Now, how do we take the lessons that we've learned from our lives and turn them into something that we're able to monetize? Now, I'm so excited to welcome her. Coming to the stage is Donna. Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
I'm so excited to be here, Taylor. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit about you and what inspired you to start helping women over 40 plus. What were you finding was a common ground with them?
What I was finding from everywhere I would look on radio, TV, I would see these women that were just like, I haven't done anything with my life. I need to do something with my life. And I thought, well, that's a sad situation because everybody has a story and everybody has something to share. And I believe that that is what we're here to do, is to use our lives and our stories to help other people. And I myself, having had a life that I just didn't like my whole life, and being able to turn that around and have a life that I never thought was possible for me has really made a difference in my life. And I want to help other women do the same.
Now, is this about them taking their lessons and, using this as a form of therapy? Is this about monetization? Tell us kind of what your purpose is here.
Well, it's not a therapy, definitely not therapy. It's not a typical writing course or that type of thing. It's definitely not a mindset course. It's more that we just extract what they already know and what they already have lived, and helping them get that into a format that they can share. A small book, mini course, just different things, and then we can monetize it and they can make money from their story and make an impact at the same time.
Now, for the women who are watching this right now thinking, well, I don't have any experience. I don't have what it takes to make a book, a talk, a story. What would you say to them? What are they getting from their lived experiences that allow them to do this?
Everybody has a story, and everybody has a story that deserves to be told. And I believe that I can help pull out the golden pieces of their story and help them mix all those together and to make a really nice, like I said, a book or a course or something like that.
Right. So let's talk about it. The program is called Rewrite and Rise. It's a 60-day program. And so walk me through this. I know that you've shared that from this program, women can learn to write their own books, to come up with their own keynote talks, to get paid for that, to make their own workshops or courses or digital products. And so what are we doing with their story that allows them to do this?
Well, what we do first is we get a story map. And what that is we just map out their story. It's a lot of journaling and just figure that out so you come away with a sense of, oh, I do have a story and I do have things that have happened in my life that I could share with other people. And then this next phase is we kind of structure it. What fits for that particular woman? Is it a book? Is it a keynote talk? And then from there, we just do the final pieces to get it out in the market and monetize it and take it from there.
Well, you've been in the entrepreneur space, for some time, having done different endeavors yourself. What made you realize that this was not just something that you could do personally, but that every woman, especially women over 40, had something that they could monetize?
I think it's because I got tired of hearing that I don't have anything that anybody would want to hear about. And it just made me so sad because like I said earlier, everybody has something and there's people out there waiting to hear it. You just have to help them see that they're just as important. They may not feel it at the time, but by they're finished with Rewrite and Rise, they see it.
Wow. Now, there are a lot of women watching who have probably at this point invested in courses and programs. Maybe they got a digital product thing or they're working with a mentor and nothing happens. There's no monetization happening. And so now they're thinking, okay, here we go, rewrite and rise. This is another one of those things that's going to sit in their closet or another course they're not going to attend the Zoom call on. How is this different?
I think it's different because it's not just one thing. It's not just, oh, here's how you do digital products, or here's how you learn how to do public speaking. It's kind of takes the whole person, the whole woman, and looks at her life and gets her to a point to where she can really embrace her life and take it in and honor that. And then look at the parts that maybe she doesn't like so much. And kind of, that's where the rewrite comes in and rewrite those and get some peace. And it's just taking that and then going, oh, wow, then I can make some money too. It's just different in that way that it adds it all together.
Now, how do you take a personal story or your lived experience and turn it into a business? Walk us through it. So you've got this life experience that you have, these lessons that you've learned. Are you turning this into a framework, a method, a system, and then monetizing it? How does it work?
That's exactly what we do. We turn it into a framework. We go through the 90 days. Like I said, the first couple of weeks, we do the formatting, the story map. And then the next week is when we just kind of put it together. How's it going to flow and fit her to what she wants to do, what she's comfortable with. Some women have no idea what they want to do. And so we can explore different avenues. And some know exactly, I want to write a book. So that's where that comes in. And then it comes in on how do we get that message out there? And how are they comfortable in getting it out there? Because not everyone's comfortable with talking in front of people. How are they going to get their message out? And we just help work that out with them too. So it's a series of steps that we go through, and we don't go to the next step until you're ready to.
Okay. So it meets people where they are.
Exactly.
Now, you said something right before we started airing, and you said that women over 40 are sitting on a gold mine. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, by the time we reach that age, don't you think we've gone through a lot?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit past that age, so I can tell you that you really go through a lot. And that's it. We've so much wisdom, so much experience there. It's so fascinating. I love to talk to other people, other women, and hear their stories because they've been places I've never even heard of. They've gone through experiences that I've never seen. And I just love that. And to bring that out of them and to get them to see that it's golden for them too. They just take it for granted. They don't give themselves the credit for the lives they've had.
So are you saying that a woman can have nothing and then from scratch start a business in 90 days? Please take us through the process.
Yes, I said that. Yes, you can. So take a woman who thinks she has nothing to share and nobody wants to hear her story, and we extract her story from her and turn it into a product that she can sell. So there's basically the 3 steps.
Okay.
And so at the end, they have a business telling their story, and their story begins to make an impact, leave a legacy, and give her some income.
Now, if someone's never set up a business before and they don't have the portals and they don't know how to set up the payment systems and they don't know how to put the book together or the talk, is Rewrite and Rise going to help them with all of this?
We're going to help them with everything, because that's, I think, a lot of the reason that women in that age category and above don't do anything with their lives or their stories, because they feel like they need to have more technical skills. They need to have more, a bigger network, things that they think they have to have that they really don't need to have. And we help them with that.
Okay. Talk to me about visibility. So now that a woman has put together this offering, you've helped her do that, it's ready to go. And then at the end, they might say, well, I'm not good at social media. I don't have a following. How am I going to be able to monetize this? And the imposter syndrome starts to set in. How are you helping them with this?
That's a good question. How do you help them with that? There's different things that we can do with that. There's other avenues than social media. That's for sure. And there are so many organizations and avenues that are available that it's easy. I don't want to say easy, but it's usually easy to point them in a direction that they'd be more comfortable with. Say if I'm working with a mom, she's going to be involved in mom groups and different groups like that. So that's where she can start talking about what she's doing and what she's sharing. And it just starts out by that, and then it goes on further with word of mouth.
Okay, fantastic. So for anyone that is listening right now and you have sparked an interest and now they're at the edge of their seat, they're thinking, okay, in 90 days, I can start a business from scratch, and they're excited. What would you tell them for anyone that's on the fence?
Tell them right now? I would tell them if there's any kind of stirring, or you're thinking, well, maybe I wonder if I could do that. Listen to that. Listen to it, because you do have a story. You have a story to tell, and you have a story that people are waiting to hear. And I can't encourage you enough to take that step. It's scary, but it's the best step you'll ever take.
So for anyone that's interested in learning more about Rewrite and Rise, you should scan the QR code right over here, and you'll find out more information about this. Well, Donna, it's been fantastic having you on. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Taylor.
Well, today we have quite an exciting guest. She has a wonderful story that she's going to be sharing with us, and I've got to give her this introduction. She has a very powerful story of resilience and reinvention, and she's going to talk to women 40 plus, how they can have the same shifts and achieve everything they're looking for in this life. Now, she's going to tell us a little bit about her story, but she's gone from having a divorce, being a single mom, taking care of her ill mother, living off of $50 a week, if you can imagine. And now she's the creator of something called the Soul Fueled Shift that's changing the lives of women all over the world. And it's helping them not only reclaim their energy and their intuition, but also their finances. So welcome, Lisa. We're so happy that you're joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. So take us back. I mean, you've got this incredibly powerful story. I mean, at first you were a single mom. You were going through a divorce. You were taking care of your mom. Set it up for us. Tell us what you were experiencing.
So what happened was, in my marriage and in my life, I'd been programmed to just serve everybody else. I was exhausted. I was burnt out. And I realized this and left my marriage. But at the end of it, I was left with 5 years bad credit, my mum to look after, nowhere to go. I actually had nowhere to move into, but I had to leave from an abusive marriage. And I realized what was going on with me was all my thinking and my way of being and my energetics had created that, all the programming, and I had to uncreate it. And I sat there one day in my room, sitting on the bed with my journal going, I've been hustling towards goals that aren't even mine. I've been looking after everybody else. I have been serving everyone else and not listening to me. And I was exhausted and overwhelmed, but I realized I had to go in. I had to go into me and start listening to me. And that was the beginning of an amazing shift into the life I have now.
Wow. And, you know, I completely understand from that story why women are feeling so deeply understood by your work. And so you're working with women who are 40 plus, so they're midlife. And I want you to tell me, I mean, what do you feel like midlife women are really struggling with right now?
The problem is when you hit 40s and 50s, there's a bit of a, I'm not sure where I want to be right now. And I think a lot of that is to do with, children are growing up and all those things. But also we hit this wall because of programming. We've been serving everybody else. We've been setting goals. We've been hustling. We've been just on top of all these jobs and these to-do lists. but none of them actually make us feel fulfilled or satisfied because we've been programmed into this way of being. We've had programming from little to be of duty to others and to serve others. And we've got this whole thing about mindset and how we just have to be positive with it. But actually inside, women are actually dying. They're overwhelmed, they feel broken, and they're not even listening to their own truth or goals or what they desire. So they hit this wall, but it's not really a wall. It's actually a breakthrough. They feel like it's a crisis, but it's a calling. And what it is, it's a calling back to who you truly are. And that's what happened to me at 45.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's incredible. And I think so many people who are listening to this probably felt something as you were saying all of that, because they could completely relate to something, if not all of it. And so, are you finding that a lot of women are, you brought up the fact that it's not just about mindset and positive thinking. I mean, we hear this so often. So the work that you're doing in the Soul Fueled Shift, we'll get to, all the details of it. But I think the first question is this work beyond simply having more positive thoughts and a better mindset? I mean, does it go much deeper than this?
It's all about identity recalibration. The problem with mindset is it's at the surface level. It doesn't deal with the unconscious programming and patterning. And women have a lot of this. It's familial, it's cultural, it's ethnicity as well. It affects our programming. So what happens is we go to these self-development courses and you feel really motivated, but it actually hasn't tapped into what's really going on. And your identity is still the same. So you leave that course going, what do I do now? I'm going back to the old patterns. So the soul fueled shift literally takes you back into actually rewiring and recalibrating your whole identity. So you go back to being who you truly are, that intuitive, that grounded, that powerful, phenomenal woman that you were born as.
Wow. And I was planning, that we would get to this in just a minute, but it feels so on point right now. So many women are investing in courses and programs in, other forms of self-help. And what's so beautiful about your method is I think it reminds them that it's kind of all inside of them and that it's the shifting of their identity. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, because what happens when you shift the internal, the external shifts. So your whole external reality reorganizes itself around your internal. Now, this is proven by science, quantum physics. Who you're being is creating your reality. So to literally create the biggest change in your life, you actually have to go in. And a lot of self-development and courses like we just talked about, and I'm sure you've been on many of those, Coach T, a lot of them are all about the mind and not getting into the unconsciousness that is driving you right now, because we wire in these patterns when we're little and we don't know they're there. They're hidden from you. So these women turn up with these hidden patterns. And until you bring awareness to them and recalibrate them through my really potent processes, you're operating like you're driving a car with no headlights on and no glasses on, and you need glasses.
And that's no good. And it's probably for this very reason that we see women continuing to reinvest and more courses and programs and never really getting the results that they want, because the results will probably come from something much deeper, like the shift that you're talking about.
That's right. It's all internal.
Yeah. And so I'm coming from the business world here. And so I've got to kind of bring us outside of the mindset for a minute, outside of the identity shift, and say beyond that, what are you seeing that women are also gaining from the soul fueled shift? Meaning that when they have this inner alignment, how is it affecting their finances?
It's amazing what gets affected. Like for me, I purchased a house with bad credit because I got into alignment with who I truly was. And my mortgage broker was like, how did you do this, Lise? It's because I got into alignment with my true nature and I knew it was possible. And I got a mortgage with bad credit. But you have other women, I've many women that money just seems to fall into their lap. Recently, I had someone who ended up with a new job just because she shifted that I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough frequency, rewired that pattern. She got offered a job which gave an extra role, which wasn't actually that much more time. It wasn't like she had to hustle harder. And she was earning $60,000 more, which meant she paid her mortgage off. Yeah, she paid her mortgage off early, and then she purchased a piece of land and is now building a hemp house on that. Now, that all happened within months of working with me. So that's just one of the shifts, but I've got many stories of that, what happens to you financially, because you step into who you truly are, the resources show up, and money is just one of them. It's embodies relationships, your connectedness with other people as well.
Wow. And you, at the beginning, you were taking care of your mother. You'd been through this divorce. You were a single mom. You were at some point living off of $50 a week. Am I right on this?
Yes. My ex was forcing me to pay the rent and mortgage, and I also had rent. And my job was part-time. I was looking after my sick mum. So I had $50 left a week, but money would literally show up. People were dropping money at my door. I had money put in my letterbox. And that was because I'd gone into alignment and I was being that truly soul-fueled being. And even though I only had $50, I managed to still thrive within that circumstance. So you can still thrive even if the bank account doesn't look that way, the way that you want it. You can thrive when you're aligned. The things will show up in the most random, magical ways.
Right. The opportunities come. I can attest to that, in my own life and business and everything. The opportunities show up. I mean, there's this infinite amount of money. There's this infinite amount of opportunities and solutions to everything that we're looking for. And you are exactly spot on. And when we align,
that's right,
then the rest of it aligns. It's there waiting to be in alignment with us. Okay. Well, tell us this. How do women know that your method will work for them? Because a lot of them have done journaling, they've done the affirmations, they've done the manifestation, they've hired the guru, they've done the mantras. But how do they know that, right? How do they know that your system is going to be different?
Well, for a start, I road tested it for a decade, and it all came, my whole system came from asking me. So my system is not about someone else's processes. I'm not a business. I don't need a process to put ads on Facebook. I need a system that takes me internally into what I know is right for me, what's congruent, what's aligned for me, what feels good, what do I desire. So what my system does, the Ask methodology, is you ask yourself, and you create your own inner compass. Well, it's already there. We're activating you to access your inner compass. And when you do that, guess what? Your own map shows up, your own soul map. And when you have your own soul map, there's no need to be looking at what anyone else is doing. There's no need to be hustling or trying to find a new course. You listen to you follow it, and the resources then align with that map. That's how I know it's going to work for you, because you're the only one who knows what's right for you and you know how to get there.
Wow. Well, one of the reasons that I really wanted to have Lisa on is because she's so in alignment with what she teaches, and she embodies it and she bees it. And I've witnessed this. But you said something that lets me know that you're the real deal. And you said that the tools are really within all of us individually, that we'll have our own roadmap. And so many of the other people out here are telling you that the path forward is their roadmap, that being in their energy and their alignment is going to get you there. And you're empowering us to know that it's all within us. So when someone joins the Soul Fueled Shift, what can we expect? I mean, is this something that's going to take us 6 months to get results? How fast can we get results, and what can we start seeing?
Well, what happens is straight away, I'm working with you once a week in a coaching session, group coaching, plus there's an app. So you've got this support all the time, but straight away what we're doing is going, where are you out of alignment? And straight away I'm giving you that support and tools to shift back into alignment. And as soon as you start making those micro decisions, they can be the tiniest decision, like, I am going to actually not do that exercise anymore. It's not congruent. So my energy shifts and changes can be the tiniest thing. And what happens is your outside reality, as we said, starts to match that. So it's within minutes or hours. I've got a story of where I shifted something around failure, and 2 hours later I got offered a gig to house sit in a $20 million house in Sydney, looking after my friends' kids. That happened 2 hours after I shifted out this energy of failure. So it can happen within minutes or hours. And you will be supported by me in those group calls, but also there's a course. So if I'm not available and it's 3 a.m. for you, you pop into this very not onerous you pop into the space where there's little micro things that you can do, like worksheets and journaling, but it's not your typical journaling. You're not asking someone else to sort something. You're listening to you, and you can practice these little micro steps and processes that will take you quickly back into recalibrating, back into being soul-fueled and soul-led, and quickly back into alignment. So those things start showing up within minutes and hours.
Well, for the women who are at the edge of their seat and they're feeling the pull, what would you say to them about joining the Soul Fueled Shift?
Well, you're here for a reason. You're not just saying this because it's luck. It's not random. You're here because your soul is saying to you, I'm ready. It's time for me. I'm done with the serving. I'm done with looking after everyone else. I know all this hustling isn't working. So it's your time, and it's now. And you know it's the right thing for you. And Soul Fueled Shift is the container that will get you there safely, permanently, and powerfully. And we've only got another 20, 30 years left. And what do you want it to be? I know what I want: traveling in the winters, being someone who's got choices that other people think they don't have, and all these possibilities. So I say, go for it. Come and join me.
Wonderful. Now, how do they get in touch with you to find out more about the Soul Fueled Shift? Please tell them.
There's 2 ways. You can find me on Instagram at Soul Fueled Sister, and I'll give you that spelling of fueled because it's the British, Fuelled. So it's Soul Fueled Sister. And then you can find me on Facebook. It's exactly the same. You can put in facebook.com/Soul Fueled Sister, Fuelled for fueled.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And for anybody who's on the fence, send Lisa a message, because it's going to change everything for you. And this program really meets you where you are to take you wherever you need to be. So thank you for being with us, Lisa.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'll see you in Soul Fueled Shift.
See you there. Bye. Well, welcome. Today, I'm so excited to talk to our guest, Ashiana. She has quite an incredible background. You've got to hear this. She's had 8 years in financial accounting. She spent 8 years with online business operations, 15 years as a bookkeeper, and her specialty is really helping people scale their businesses in a way that allows them to see where the money is. This is really important stuff. She's overseen portfolios that are $2 million to $10 million. And she's managed all these clients at once. And her claim to fame is that when clients hire her, she ends up increasing their profit margins by 18%. Can you imagine this? Now she's developed a strategy that is teaching entrepreneurs how they can build forward-looking financial systems that will allow them to take more money home in their business without necessarily making more money. And so without further ado, we're welcoming Ashiana on. Hi there. How are you, Ashiana?
Fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, we're going to dive into this stuff. Now, every founder has a story. In 2019, something happened to you in your consulting business. In your consulting business, I believe you hit $250,000 in this business. What happened?
Well, when I finally forced myself to look, I discovered the truth. 60K went to contractors, and I had obviously hired reactively. 50K went to taxes I didn't plan for. and 40K went to personal expenses I couldn't actually afford. The
Wow.
rest scattered across subscriptions, investments, and expenses that I never tracked. I had no cash flow system, no budget, no forecast. I was making decisions based on how I felt, not what the numbers said.
Right.
Bookkeeping records told me what happened, and last month, not what I could afford next month. And what I had realized,
No, please. And so,
Sorry.
yeah, what was your big takeaway from this?
There were three things. Money doesn't manage itself. Revenue means nothing without a system to manage it. Tracking isn't enough. I need a forward-looking system that told me what to do next, not just what already happened. You can't scale without systems. Scaling revenue without financial infrastructure is just expensive chaos. I had been confusing revenue with success. I had been scaling my business without scaling my financial systems. It was like building a house on sand.
Absolutely. And so we're going to dive into that a little bit more. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs are in the game of constantly trying to make more money every month. I mean, do you see this with your clients?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
is it that they need to make more money every month, or is it something else that needs to be done?
It basically works on, at the end, it works on not only your revenue, but it works on maximizing your profit. That is the aim at the end of the day. And most entrepreneurs focus on revenue and not maximum profit.
Right. Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So in your business, you'd hit the $250,000 mark, and then you realize that you didn't really have any money to spend. I mean, that's a lot of money. So this is incredible. So once this happened to you in 2019, it's kind of an interesting moment as we were talking before. This also mirrors a little bit of what you learned in lessons from your father, right? Your father had a small business. Tell us a little bit about that.
There were certain patterns that I had noticed when I was growing up. The first pattern was check to check cycle. Every month, it was the same cycle. Money would come in from a big client payment, and for a few days there was relief. My parents would relax, but within the week, the tension would return. Bills were due, payroll was coming, and the scramble would start again. I watched my dad work 72-hour weeks, bringing in revenue, but never building it. In other words, a cushion wasn't built. It was always feast or famine, always reactive, never proactive.
And I'm assuming, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There were different patterns. There was the avoid and hope strategy, the revenue doesn't equal security reality, the no one talks about it rule, in a nutshell.
Right. These are things that anybody watching right now that has a business can relate to, right? Those high moments when you have clients paying, and then the next day or the next week's feeling like you're back to being poor. And so, here's the interesting piece. When I'm talking with entrepreneurs, a lot of them are saying, well, I've got a bookkeeper. So Ashiana, you tell me, if people have a bookkeeper, how is what you do as a fractional CFO different than them having a bookkeeper?
Bookkeeper records history. It tells you the past. A CFO will tell you the future based on strategic decisions. In a nutshell.
Okay. And so if we're wanting to have a more positive future in our business, have more revenue, then the answer is we need to be having a CFO. Is that what I'm gathering here? So if someone has a bookkeeper, should they also have a CFO?
Yes, so the strategic systems can be built, and once you have strategic systems built, you'll be able to make strategic decisions. It is no more guesswork. There's no more, besides the guesswork, there's no more fear, there's no more uncertainty. It's basically like a ship without a rudder when you just have a bookkeeper only, because you're aware of what has happened in the past, but you can change the future so that you can maximize your profit. And that can only happen if you have strategic systems in place.
Exactly. So talk to me about this. What are the type of entrepreneurs that you work with best? What types of businesses do they have? What's the revenue that they're currently making?
It will work with online entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, both male and female, and the revenue will be based from 750K to 1 million.
Okay. And so what are you seeing when you're working with these types of entrepreneurs at this revenue point? What are you seeing are the hidden money leaks? Where are they losing money that they have no idea about? Where is that? Where's the money silently disappearing?
Basically, you've got different leaks. You've got operational leaks. You've got financial leaks. Operational leaks will be like a subscription creep, contractor inefficiency, underutilized tools, inefficient ad spend, untracked expenses, overpaying the services. I could go into much more detail, but I'm just giving you a précis version, and each entrepreneur will immediately identify with this.
Right.
And lastly, you have redundant processes. Then you have offer structure leaks, which is low margin offers, bonus stacking, underpriced offers, offers that don't scale, unprofitable payment plans, and cannibalizing offers.
Okay.
Then you have pricing and decision making, the last one. Your pricing and decision. Sorry.
Well, with the pricing, well, let me ask you this: with the operational leaks and the offer structure leaks, your program, your services and systems, it will help them with this. Is that right?
Yes. These leaks are like potholes. If you're on the road, there's a pothole. So what the system does is that fills the tar so that the pothole can be filled. That's basically it. That's how it'll work. And when you have pricing and decision making leaks, as example, we'll be hiring before you can afford it, saying yes without ROI, reactive spending, not tracking offer profitability, no safe to spend number, ignoring CAC, not planning for taxes. That's just basically in a nutshell. I just went over all the potential or all the real-time leaks that entrepreneurs experience.
Exactly. And so with your systems, they can help pinpoint where these leaks are and help them change them. So let's talk about this, for example. So you now plug these leaks, the operational leaks, the offer leaks, you help them with the price and decision-making strategies. And so when you've been doing this with other clients, what type of results have you seen? Tell us a little bit about some of your success stories. What do they look like?
Well, basically, the bottom line is that when you plug in these leaks, you're going to have an increase in profit. There'll be situations where you can have the same workload in comparison to your original situation, but you'll have a higher profit.
Wow.
And so basically, and that can happen, and you don't have to increase your clients either. So you're basically looking at a system that without increasing your clients, you can have the same workload but a higher profit.
Whoa. So if I'm getting this right, you're telling me that you can actually take home more money and you don't have to increase your clients and you don't have to work more hours. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, That's what I'm basically saying. That's what happens when I start to plug all the leaks.
Wow, this is incredible, incredible. And what is, well, what are some of the other benefits, I should say, that people are experiencing? So now they've got an increased profit. They're taking home more money. What are some of the other things that they're receiving, from being able to get this financial clarity? How's it showing up in their lives and their families?
You will have non-monetary gains, for example, peace, confidence, better relationships, empowered decision making, life stability, and emotional grounding. That's basically in a nutshell of the non-monetary gains that you will get.
Well, I mean, the truth is, as we've talked about here, most entrepreneurs, as you're telling us right here, they don't really need to make more money. They need to be able to uncover where the money is in their business. It's there. And, they could reduce the workload. They could, have more time to spend with family, and they could be, at more peace here. It's just figuring out where is the money going. So tell us about your system. I like to get down to the tangibles. Now, you've got this system. Can you tell us, what it's called and, the duration, what it basically does? And let's break it down. First, let us know what is your system called and what does it do?
Okay, it's the Financial Growth Lab, and it's over 90 days, and you'll have different phases and different benefits at the end of the 90 days, and at the end of the first week, you'll be able to see the benefits. For example, after the first week, you will have clarity. You'll be able to say to yourself, "Oh my God, this is how it's done. If only I had known sooner." And you'll have a dashboard to work with. And in the Financial Growth Lab, in the Financial Growth Lab, you'll have the different types of dashboards to work with. And you obviously will have increased confidence and clarity after the first week. Then
that's just in the first week. So in the first week, they're able to identify, oh, there is money here. They're starting to see some of the leaks. Am I right on this?
Yes, they are starting to see some of the leaks. Obviously, I'll be able to help them with the identifying the leaks. The dashboard will be able to pick that up very easily once you fill in the relevant figures, and so that they can generate the proper systems. Yes.
So then let's fast forward from that. That's in the first week. In the first 30 days, what are we experiencing? What can people see from being in your program after the first 30 days?
Of the first 30 days, basically, what's going to happen is that, are you talking about the first 30? Sorry, just let me clarify. You're going to talk about the first week, and then we're going on to the 30 days. Am I right?
Right. So in the first 30 days of your program, after the first week, the next timeline we'll jump to is after the first 30 days of them implementing your system in the Growth Lab. What type of results are they getting?
Okay. You're going to have, what we were doing at this stage at the end of the first month is that you would have been building a forward-looking financial system. That system is not complete, but it's enough for you to make decisions and to see where all the leaks went, and also for how to rectify these leaks. Also be able to look at the CFO dashboard at a glance and determine the business health. But this is not the full business health, because we just at the 30-day mark, not at the 90-day mark. But you'll be able to see the glimpses of what is going to come forward in the 90 days. Also, the profit plan for paying out taxes and investments, expenses, etc.
Right.
And you'll have a cash flow forecast for strategic decisions. But these are mini strategic decisions, because the main system at the end of 90 days will show. And that's when you'll be able to make major strategic decisions.
And what does that look like? Like, what are these major strategic decisions that they can make in the 90 days?
Well, at the end of the 90 days, they'll be able to determine how much of money to put aside for investments, how much of money to put aside for hiring new employees, whether it's feasible or not, how much of money to put aside for ad spending, so that you can get the maximum return on investment. Those are some of the things.
Oh, this is wonderful. So this is, I mean, there's a lot that your system is able to help them accomplish in 90 days. And so when you work with an entrepreneur, as a CFO, what are give me just one of the best success stories that comes to mind for you when you've worked with an entrepreneur? What have they been able to do in their business? How has their money increased? To give us the highlight reel.
They're kind of so unsure, and they're coming very insecure, and they come in, basically, am I in the right place at the right time? And I think that it's kind of, yes, I need to know, but I'm not sure now whether this is going to work for me or this is not going to work for me. But at the end of the first week, I'm able to see that, look, you know what? They do have results. They are able to work with figures. A lot of them, most of them, I find, are very, they fear figures, and they regard it as the enemy. And it's not the enemy. It's really, at the end of the first week, I can see the joy in their face and say, you know what? I'm now friends now. I'm starting to become friends now. And it's a different situation, a different ball game, and they begin to open up more and really start to embrace it rather than shun it. Oh, you know what? I'll always leave it for another day, but that day never comes. You've got to act now.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So if the people watching are wanting to be a part of the lab, they want to be a part of the Financial Growth Lab, you're taking them through this 90-day experience. What would you tell them about joining? What would you tell the people who are on the fence about joining? Let us know.
Basically, I would say that 6 months from now, you're going to say, I regretted not joining because I'm still stuck in the same situation. I'm still stuck with the same problems, and it hasn't been solved. And every day it's tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes, and the whole year passes, and then you've got to start all over again, and it just accumulates and accumulates and accumulates. Then you'll end up with penalties from the tax man. And that's something you don't want to endure. And also you'll have penalties in your business because the cracks will start to show. And when the cracks start to show, it's quite difficult to fix it at a late stage. It's nice when you can see it in an early stage and you can see the problems and you can fix it. At a later stage, it can be fixed, but it's a bigger issue. You rather deal with the issues when they're much smaller.
Well, what I would say is this. As an entrepreneur myself, hiring a fractional CFO within your business can be costly. But you've got a unique opportunity right now to join the Financial Growth Lab. We're putting a QR code on the screen here for you to grab. And you can grab this QR code, scan it, and find out everything you need about joining this incredible program for 90 days. And watch how it changes your business. Watch how it increases the amount of money that you're taking home while reducing your workload, right? Watch the amount of clarity and peace that comes to you from actually being in control of your business. Now, if anything that we said here resonates with you, we encourage you to use the QR code on the screen, join the lab, learn a little bit more about it. And this is at a fraction of the cost of what it would be to have a CFO. I mean, the price is so low. I can't believe she's doing this. But, I know that Ashiana wants to change the world, change the way that entrepreneurs view money, and so that they can start enjoying their businesses again. So, Ashiana, any last words?
Don't waste any more time. Join the lab. You won't regret it. It'll be one of the best decisions you've made.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for joining us.